Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2026 Lucid Gravity Grand Touring. Below me are two electric motors powering this all-electric SUV slash minivan, whatever you want to call it. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Lucid Gravity for two reasons. First of all, I haven't driven a Gravity here before. I have driven the Lucid Air, their flagship first product. But the second reason I'm excited is because this is Lucid's now second product. And so I never really judge a first product too harshly. It's mostly the company figuring out what they want to do and how they want to do it. The second product is always when the company hits the ground running. And so today we get to see if Lucid hits the ground running or if it's dead on arrival. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that all-electric drivetrain. Well, that is what Lucid is known for. So far, Lucid has only produced electric vehicles. It does come with the North American standard outlet. It's on a 900-volt architecture, and this Grand Touring boasts a whopping 828 horsepower. That is a lot, but in electric cars, that's pretty fair, and the Lucid Air also has tons and tons of power, and so we are used to that. Saying 828 in this actually isn't that crazy given what it competes with, but 828, still a fantastic number. Range is also a good number. 437 miles per charge. That's what the EPA estimates, and it is incredible. The only number I've seen higher has been out of the extended battery full-size GM products, and those are such a hassle to drive and own that it almost isn't even worth the range. 437 is staggering for a vehicle like this at this day and age. Now, it is dual motor, so that does mean it is all-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the Lucid Gravity Grand Touring? Well, let's put it into sprint mode and see. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. That's a quick way to lose your stomach. Yeah. Driving it is great. Obviously, the actual driving dynamics are shared with pretty much every other EV. It is very smooth. It's quiet. Driving it at normal speeds is such a pleasure, but then when you want to crank it up, you have that 828 at your disposal. The car doesn't feel too big either. Sometimes I worry about that with vehicles like this. That's not an issue. It doesn't feel overly large. The ride quality is fantastic. This is a great riding vehicle. And of course, you could go really freaking fast, so that's a big benefit. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital gauge cluster, all screen in front of me. I do like this look. We do have our defrost and wipers as touchscreen buttons. I don't love that. I would have loved physical wipers and physical defrosters, but I think overall aesthetically it looks really good, and that's going to be a covering theme. This isn't the most user-friendly EV or vehicle that I've ever driven, but it is more of a statement, an art piece, and that's sort of Lucid's edge, and we'll talk about that later on, but you definitely get that modern feeling up front. On the steering wheel, you get even more modern features. You have these sort of label-less swipe features. I'm not a big fan of them in practice, but again, Lucid's trying to be this sort of new and interesting company, and so it works well enough. It does respond to your touch pretty well. I've seen and driven a lot of vehicles that have this style of button, and they don't react nearly as well. So if you're going to do it, this does it well, but it's fine. The steering wheel is also kind of oval and feels kind of small, which I think helps make the vehicle feel smaller in general. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, and moving on to the door, we just have the window switches and the latch to get in and out. That's it. All very simplistic here. Moving into the center, we have a continuation of that gauge cluster screen. For our infotainment, it's been very easy to navigate. And again, it's very aesthetically pleasing. I give this car a little bit more leeway. It's not the easiest system I've ever experienced, but this isn't an entry-level car. This isn't made for everyone. And so, again, kind of gets that benefit of the doubt. But down below, we have another screen. A lot of screens here in the Lucid Gravity. And this will run many different things. So we can run our music, our navigation, our charging, our climate controls, our drive modes for smooth, swift, and sprint, lock and unlocking of the vehicle, as well as we have our sanctuary. Oh, play video.
Let's be inspired and feel a connection to the universe. You are now seated in gravity.
I am.
As you take a breath in, see a bright, shining star in front of you.
So Lincoln has done something like this in the past as well. These sort of like rejuvenation modes, which is really cool. It also has a mode that will walk you through the Lucid Gravity and tell you how to operate everything. So if you do have questions, here you go. We do have backup cameras and 360 cameras, of course, and all of that is ran through the screen. We do have physical buttons for our heated and ventilated seats, our temperature and fan speed. So down at the bottom, you can use those physical buttons if you want, which is very helpful. Then we do have some nice material here on the center console. It says Gravity. You can open it up like that. And inside, you'll find 2 cup holders that sadly fail the big friggin' bottle test. Some chargers and non-slip pads, and then we do get a center console with 2 USB-Cs found in there. The seats are very comfortable. They're heated, ventilated, power memory, and of course massaging. Anything you'd want out of a modern luxury seat, the Lucid Gravity does here, and it does it pretty well. No complaints. However, speaking of seats, so let's go do some backseat reviews. Time to get in the back of the Lucid Gravity. There are some open wheel cars going around Road America right now, so I apologize if the audio isn't quite what it would normally be, but stepping inside here, close the door up. I do like right off the bat it says Gravity on the door. We get these nice window shades as well. Power windows, vents on the B-pillars, USB-C charger right here, and we get a little cubby space. Oh no, wait. This is actually a tray table. Look at that. Huh. So you hit this button right here, pops it out, and you grab it and pull it the rest of the way. It's a little cumbersome, but you do get a work table in the back. Absolutely love that. A huge luxury feature that a lot of cars don't incorporate. Down below here, we have our own climate controls, heated seats for the back, which is great. Dual zone and fan speed operation for the back. We have our little sweet logo there, and tons more to love over here. We get the giant glass roof, and we do get a center console. Pull this down, cup holders found in there. Plenty of space. I'm 5'11", not a small guy, and I have like tons and tons of space back here. Headroom is also great too. Again, 5'11", and I have tons of space above my head. So if you're well into the 6-foot range, you should also be able to fit in the back of the Gravity. That is huge. Like, this is where it feels like a minivan back here. Like, it genuinely feels like a Honda Odyssey or Toyota Sienna in the best ways possible. So, very cool to see all of that. Now, we don't actually have a third row. I thought that we had a third row. We don't, but we can look at the cargo space. All right, so we're on the back of the Lucid Gravity. Button right there to open it up. It is, of course, power operated. And we do have our big charger. You know, this is going to be important. But again, can lift this up. And we do have extra storage. Now, like I said, there are Lucid Gravities that have a third row. This one particularly doesn't. So, something to note that might be an option when you're looking for yours. My God, those are loud. Anyway, I like that you can lift this up and you do get storage, but they give you these little prongs that end up holding it up on either side. So release it like that and it'll go back down. We also do have a 12-volt outlet over here, and we have power operation for our second row seat, and they pop down. So very cool. That is around the back of the Lucid Gravity. Come up here, super easy button right like that, and it will pop down. Now, coming around the front, we do have a frunk that will open up as well. There's a famous ad of Timothy Chalamet sitting up here because they actually do offer this. You roll this out, and then now this becomes a seat. So you can sit, and you're not gonna damage your front bumper because this really nice thick padding goes over it. And now if you're watching a baseball game, or you know, your kids are in Little League, whatever, you can sit here, enjoy the nice day. I am personally enjoying Road America, but very cool that they give this to you, and it actually has like a nice cushy back. Like, this is better than most lawn chairs I've experienced. It is dripping a little bit of water. That's because it was recently washed. And while you're doing that, again, apologies, You can also charge your device because you do get a wall outlet. So very, very cool. Press this button and it will power operate right back down. Absolutely love to see that. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I don't overly love the look of the Lucid Gravity. I think it looks nice, but I don't think it's like anything too crazy. It does the job, and here it is. I do think it is kind of minivan wagon-y, and I actually really like that part of it. I think maybe some people don't like that part of it, but I personally do, and I like this lighter color. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think now finally driving the Lucid Gravity? Is this Lucid's second vehicle, and is it good? Yes, this is a very, very good product. As a manufacturer who has really relatively just recently started producing vehicles, this is a great second act. It's strong, it has great features, and really pushes luxury even further. Is it the most user-friendly? No. Is electric going to capture everyone? No. Is it cheap? No. But what it does is it does things differently. This all feels new. It feels fresh and it feels different. If you want that experience where you can pick people up and they go, whoa, what is this? That's what the Lucid Gravity gives you. Now, a lot of people like SUVs, as we mentioned, it has plenty of seating and great features. But I am truly impressed by what's in front of me. Nothing in here feels cheap or flimsy. The entire drive, nothing has rattled, squeaked, or beeped. It's built very, very well. It feels very solid. It has great features, and not to mention 828 horsepower from the dual motor. I am like really, truly blown away. Is this my particular cup of tea? Probably not, but I like that Lucid is doing this, and I like that Lucid is trying to be different. And they are different. They are differentiating themselves in the market. A lot of manufacturers are bringing pretty soulless EVs to market. It's the same thing, the same skateboard underneath that we've seen in other products, just with a different body slapped on top and sometimes a different badge at the back. This doesn't feel this way. This really does feel triumphant. It feels like the Intrepid. It feels like they're sticking their neck out, and I hope that this plays out for them. Lucid has gone down the path less traveled, and I hope that it does benefit them in the end. Because as I mentioned, with the features, with the build quality, with the power, this is a fantastic second product. And this gives me a lot more faith in the Lucid brand because it's easy to build one product and get it out to market. I say easy, it's actually like tremendously hard. But like in the grand scheme of things, you can be a one-hit wonder, right? They have now come out with their second studio album, and it's featuring some more popular artists, and it has its own sort of sound. It doesn't just feel like Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus and Katy Perry balled up into one song. This has its own tone, its own vibe, its own feeling. And so this, to me, is an enormously great benchmark for Lucid as a company. They did it once and it wasn't a fluke. And I'm excited to see what they build down the line. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to G Schmitz and Lucid for letting me borrow this Gravity here at the Mama Spring Rally 2026. They've been absolutely wonderful to work with, and huge thank you again to G Schmitz for cleaning this vehicle. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.